After a month-long voting process, India will finally announce election results Friday. Exit polls show pro-business Narendra Modi will win. Outgoing Prime Minister Mohammed Singh is not impressed. He says Modi in the top office would be a real disaster. Analysts say his record of bringing jobs and investors to the home district has won over the country's voters.
If you look at this, the policy platform that they ran on, I mean, this is clearly what they want to do. They want to sort of reduce the red tape. They want to make it easier for non-resident investors also to access the Indian market. India actually has a very low amount of FDI as a percentage of GDP, which is quite unusual. So there's a huge amount of upside. So he has, in multiple areas, the possibility to actually get this economy going again.
Modi party has probably won enough votes to hold a majority in parliament. India's stock market and currency have already surged on the news of their pending victory. Now, even though some of the Indian media outlets say Modi will win in a landslide, there are actually three main contenders for the prime minister position. We start with 43-year-old Rahul Gandhi. He is a member of India's most powerful political dynasty. He worked at a London consulting firm before setting up a tech firm in Mumbai. Gandhi pursued poor and middle-class voters. Then there's 45-year-old Arvind Kejriwal. He's the leader of what some call the Common Man Party. He worked at a steel company and India's tax department before becoming an anti-corruption activist. His party was not expected to earn many votes outside of the urban centers. And finally, 63-year-old Modi. For decades, he was the chief minister of a key industrial hub. He has a strong bond with the international business community, and he campaigned on issues such as employment, the economy, and foreign policies. India is hoping this will be the year its economy turns the corner, but progress may depend on how quickly a new government can enact pending reforms. It is Asia's biggest economy, a third largest economy that's battling the worst slowdown since the 80s. GDP growth has come under fire and under 5% for the past 2 years, and prices are rising and production at India's mines and factories, that is falling. Modi, the front-runner for the prime minister, has promised to fix the economy, but there are concerns that the growing number of bad loans at Indian banks in a weak monsoon season could hurt even the best economic intentions. Indian voters say that their livelihoods depend on what the new government will be able to accomplish. Ravinder Bawa spoke to the people on the streets of Delhi about their post-election expectations.
I hope that in the next 1 or 2 years, factories come up and the job market improves.
The new government will open ways and means for better business prospects for us to gain from.
We want the new government to develop the country, and we want growth.
This is just a glimpse of what Indians expect from the new government. Reeling under price rise, people want the government to tackle food inflation.
We've had 7 or 8 years of continuously high food inflation, and that suggests that there is something wrong with agriculture in terms of its ability to produce crops efficiently and produce those crops which people are actually consuming more and more of.
While many voted for bringing down inflation, the 200 million youth voters demand employment.
We are very, very far behind in our targets as far as employment goes. We have huge numbers of people entering the workforce, but not enough jobs being created. So there is an issue of creating skills, which I think is being done, but it needs to be scaled up. There is an issue of creating conditions under which jobs are actually created.
Experts believe that unemployment can be addressed by increasing the infrastructure capacity and investment.
Investment cycle, which is absolutely crucial for not only improving the growth but also maintaining a relatively higher level of growth is critical, and that had been a big casualty in the last 2 to 3 years.
All eyes are now set on the first budget to be presented by the new government in this July, which will set the tone of economic policy. Ravinder, Bawa, CCTV, Delhi.